Diet and exercise alone doesn't help you lose weight. We get fixated with diet and exercise, and there are lots of weight loss gurus and experts on YouTube who tell you to do certain diets. People coming to the clinic and saying, "Doctor, I went on a diet and then I exercised and I lost weight. But in the next few months, I put back the weight. But when I go and do the same diet again and go to the gym and exercise, I don't lose weight." Yes, you may lose weight, but not for too long. I am Dr. Rajeshwaran, consultant endocrinologist and bariatric physician, helping people to lose weight for the last 20 years or more. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you the number of reasons which prevent people from losing weight despite dieting and exercising. I'll be focusing on one important point, and then in my subsequent videos, I'll be helping people to overcome barriers to losing weight. So we're not going to focus on diet and exercise alone. So the general theme these days in my clinic is people coming to the clinic and saying, "Doctor, I went on a diet and then I exercised and I lost weight. But in the next few months, I put back the weight. But when I go and do the same diet again and go to the gym and exercise, I don't lose weight. I'm really frustrated." And that's the theme which is running. So the reason is, there are millions of other reasons why people can't lose weight, but we get fixated with diet and exercise, and there are lots of weight loss gurus and experts on YouTube who tell you to do certain diets or follow a particular meal plan or do a particular exercise regime and say that you would lose weight. Yes, you may lose weight, but not for too long. We are going to talk about environment. So let me give you my experience. So I've been working in the UK for nearly 30 years, and in the UK, the laws are strict as far as driving is concerned. I passed in the first attempt, but then I had to follow the rules because it's very strict. And if you exceed the speed limit, for example, if it's a 30-mile speed limit and you're driving at 31 mile, you are assured to get a letter from the driving licensing authority that you are penalized. You will get 3 points on your driving license and £60 fine. I think that's around £60. I'm not sure about the exact amount. But then when you accumulate 12 points, you're asked not to drive, your driving license is cancelled, and that's it. You can't go to work, you can't drive anywhere, and that's it. Your life is standstill. That's how strict it is. So you'll find that everyone follows the rules, they lane drive, and that's how it is. And also people are kind over there because they know that they can't overtake. And when you flash the headlights in your car, that says that, "Okay, I'm giving you way, please go." So everybody is polite. So when I come to India, Chennai in particular, which is in the south of India, capital of Tamil Nadu, I think it's the worst place as far as driving is concerned. So I didn't choose that, but I had to come here. And I also understand that's where the number of road traffic accidents are the maximum. And I was not surprised at all. So what happened was, when I came here, I was actually scared of the roads. I put my foot down. I said, "I'm not going to drive." So we had a driver who took us around. But after a few months, my wife got very upset. And she said, "There's no privacy at all." And so we had to sack the driver. So the next option was me to drive. So as you know, I got the driving license in 2 hours. And that's all it took to get a driving license. And then I started to drive. After a few rounds within the city of Chennai, when I came back, I found out there are lots of bumps, scratches in my car. And then I realized that every car had scratches and bumps, so I was not bothered. And then I found out I was getting irritated when the roads and the signals and the crossings, people overtaking from either sides. You can get the two-wheelers coming in front of you. And I didn't know what the rule was. Then I realized the only rule is there's no rule. You can do what you want. It's like a Brownian movement. I don't know, those of you who have studied physics, you know that there's a Brownian movement. The molecules are moving, but there's no rule. So you know what I did? Shamelessly, I followed that. So I didn't follow the rules. And then I adapted. So I started driving like everybody else. So that's what environment does to you. I'm not proud of that, I think it's sad that I had to follow that. I don't know what would happen when I go back to London to drive. Now, coming back to diet, exercise, and weight loss. This is exactly what I was trying to get at. If you don't change your environment, you cannot lose weight. Suppose you go on a diet, every day going to the gym, but your environment is different, there's no way you can lose weight. Well, you may lose weight for a few months and then you're going to put it back on. So let me give you some examples. Some of my patients said, look, doctor, I've been doing intermittent fasting and I did lose weight and then I put it back on. You know, these diets, intermittent fasting, low carb, high protein, paleo diet, they're all rubbish in the end. They may help you for some time, but after a year or two, they're all the same. That's because your body has adapted. So one of my couples came to me and said, doctor, my husband did intermittent fasting. He lost a lot of weight, but I haven't lost even 1 kilogram. And she was quite surprised. I said, look, you and your husband have got different genes. Your environment is different from his. And your body's metabolism is different. So I'm not surprised how your body behaves. So, you know, human beings are like animals. We follow the crowd and we follow the crowd very strictly. If one starts following a diet and then the diet is circulated in WhatsApp groups and everybody follows this. Just look at this small clip. In the description, I put where I've got it from. So obviously, I've got to acknowledge that. It's a very short clip. Can you see the cow? The first cow thinks that this white line on the road is a barrier and jumps on it. The second cow does this and the cow escapes and goes. So all the cows think that this white line is a big barrier and every cow jumps. And you know what? We are not different from these cows. Don't use our brains. Sorry for being rude. But we don't use, everybody goes on a diet and we follow it and expect the same outcomes. You know why we expect the same outcomes? Because we look at these marketing pictures of before and after. So someone is very big and they show you these jeans which they are wearing and then they show you another jean which is so loose. That's a standard marketing gimmick, but no one tells you sometimes afterwards. And that's where I come into the picture. I see all these people sometimes afterwards, crying, putting on weight, losing their self-esteem. So if you want to lose weight, change your environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on two groups of people who I think are very, very important. But I'm obviously in my subsequent videos, I'll be touching on the other groups as well. I'm sure you got the gist. So there's a study in the UK, which is around probably 10, 12 years old, which still stands good even to this day. It's called the Foresight Report. The Foresight Report, which clearly showed that there are hundreds of reasons for weight gain. And unless you tackle this, it's going to be difficult. It's like a jigsaw. You know, it's a huge jigsaw. And what we are doing is, because of the so-called experts, we are just following diet and exercise. So what I'm going to do is in my subsequent videos, I'm going to touch on each of these topics. And if you listen to me, you're going to benefit. I also tell my viewers to please share it. The reason I say share is every time you share a video, it's a vested interest. You discuss about the video, it enters your brain and it reinforces you and you change your habits and rules. So that's how it is. You know, I'll give you an example of why I feel that's important. So I was going the other day to the hospital, I was driving, and then what I did was, suddenly my brain was in the UK mode. So I started giving way to people. And then everyone became kind, and I saw the auto guy stopping, giving way. And suddenly it became infectious. Everyone started to change. So you can change. Even the traffic in Chennai can be changed if only there's a group of kind souls. I think so. And we can reduce the number of deaths. Okay, coming back to environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on housewives because I think they're the most important people in the world. There are 10 different rules. There's no particular order. What I want you to do is listen to this carefully. If you follow this, you're going to be successful, happy. So the rule number one for housewives, homemakers is you need to remember that you are the most important person in the house. Everyone else comes after that. The whole house revolves around you. So the number one rule is you eat first. Everybody eats afterwards. It's going to be difficult, but that's what the rule says. So if you want to succeed, you eat first. Second rule is keep fruits and vegetables washed, cut, and easily visible in a clear container at eye level in the fridge. The reason is that's what you pick up first, in a clear container. So when you're feeling hungry, when you're feeling peckish, that's what you do. Open the fridge, pick one of them and eat. The third rule is you don't buy unhealthy snacks. Even the healthy snacks is an opaque container. That means you can't even see what the snack is, and it should be in a cupboard in your cheat room, very high up, so that it's inaccessible for kids and also to your husband. The fourth rule is buy groceries only once a week. Don't go to the shops every day. Even if you forget, change the meal plan, change the menu. So don't go to the supermarket every day. Go once a week and meal plan. And meal plan for a few days and put it in containers so that you can heat and give. Do not hesitate to give the leftovers the next day. Very, very important. You know, a lot of women think that they're doing a great job by cooking fresh every day and pleasing their husband and kids. Please don't do that. Save time. So there's it's nothing wrong in heating food and giving the leftovers for the next day. No one's going to die. The next most important point is do not cook separate meals for each individual in the family. And that's a big mistake. A lot of my relatives do this. So they cook a completely different dish for the husband. The eldest son is something different. The youngest son something different. So the poor housewife is cooking all day long. So everybody has got to eat the same unless they have severe allergies or intolerance. Please keep listening to these points again and again so that it gets drilled into your brain. So when you go to the grocery, you know, I said you should buy once a week. So stick to that. But also go with a list so that you avoid impulse buying. You know, we always impulse buy because we see there's something available for half the price, buy one, get one. We always tend to impulse buy, even though you don't need it. So don't do that. The next point, let's say it's point number 7, is drink water frequently. So keep a water bottle visible in the rooms you spend time. It could be your bedroom, it could be a kitchen, it could be your drawing room. Keep water bottles everywhere because you tend to neglect keeping yourself hydrated. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated all the time. And as I said, you should be eating the first person. You should be the first person to eat, but eat at the dining table. Don't eat on the go because your brain should register that you had a meal. You need to have 3 proper meals so that you don't snack. So it's very, very important to eat meals, 3 proper meals, sat on a dining table, allow your brain to register. You know, you can spend 5 to 8 minutes having a meal. Don't tell me you don't have time. Lots of people have much more time. Those who are busy doing 5 jobs, they do have time, they make time. And it's very important to eat at specific times. You don't just keep changing your meal times. It's important to stick to that. Then the next point is reducing your sitting time. So for example, you're sat watching television, that's okay, but after every 15 minutes you stand up. Suppose you're talking to a friend, you stand up and after every 15 minutes. Suppose you're having a long chat with your husband or your friend. If you're on the phone, the rule is you don't sit and talk. You always walk and talk. That's very, very important. So please make sure that you listen to this again. You need to learn to say no. Learning to say no is very, very important. Be polite, but you need to say no and give a reason. And the last point is exercise. I know I mentioned that doing exercise, going to the gym, it's not possible for housewives. They have different schedules. So what I usually advise is not going to the gym, but exercise on the go so that it becomes part and parcel of your life. So I have some ankle weights and keep walking. So whenever you're walking, you're already doing exercise. Have resistant bands in the kitchen, have an exercise bike in the kitchen, so dumbbells in your living room. So you can do exercise for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's how it should be. If you can just follow these rules and make sure and mug up these rules, cram these rules, tell these rules to your husband and children, and tell them that this doctor said this, and you're going to follow it religiously, and they'll slowly get adapted. You know what? As you get better, your whole family will get healthy. Your kids will start becoming healthy. So please adopt these. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer your questions in the comment box. So I've done with housewives. I'm sure it's going to be helpful. They're going to really do well if they follow this. And the next most difficult group of people are the university students. You know what? They don't come to me to say, doctor, I want to get over diabetes or I want to escape from heart attack. That's not what they come for. They come to me predominantly to improve their body image. People with weight problem in the university have low self-esteem, sadly. So I help them improve their body image and also physical and mental health. So it's very important to make sure you not only eat healthy and exercise, but follow these rules, which I'm going to tell you for university students. The reason I say university students is, they are in school, they are tightly regulated by their parents and the school, and suddenly they're let loose. In the first year of college or university, they think they can do what they want, they eat all junk, they party late at night, they get up in the middle of the day at 1 o'clock, they don't have a routine, they skip meals, drink heavily, and it's not surprising that they put on a lot of weight. So if you want to lose weight, keep it off. Yes, go on a healthy diet, but rather than diet is a bad word. I would say healthy eating plan and then exercise regularly, but change your environment. Okay, the first one is going to be a bit cruel. If you really want to change your environment and if you find that your friends are not going to help you, you need to change your friends. You got to be ruthless in this. So that's your environment. I'll tell you why. As you know, I'm an endocrinologist and bariatric physician, seeing lots of people with weight problem. And what I see is when people lose weight, in fact, I'll tell you a story. I'm not going to tell the name. Was 22 years of age and she lost around 42 kilograms over a period of 9 months or 12 months. She did very well. But when she came to my clinic for a follow-up, she came crying. And you know what? She said, thank you, doctor, for helping me lose weight. I'm fine. You know what? I can wear these tight jeans and I've got this jumper on. I'm very, very happy. But she was in real tears. You know why? She had lost all her friends. Because she became slim and good looking and healthy, her friends slowly separated from her. And that's the real world. So this is why I said you will not have friends. If you want real friends, they need to stick to you. Stick with you, stick with the plans you've got, support you. If they can't support you, if they're forcing you to eat more, if they're forcing you to drink more, then they're not true friends. I'm sure I'll get comments on this. So the first point is changing environment is make sure you've got a group, a good set of people around you. The second is in your uni room, you have to stock yourself with healthy snacks, fruits, nuts. Go and bulk buy because it's cheaper when you bulk buy. Protein bars, use that. And if you really want a cake or a cookie, go out and buy. Don't stock them in your room. The next point is keep a reusable water bottle. Please don't buy plastic water bottles. Buy stainless steel water bottles. That's what I use. And get preferably a 2 liter, not the small ones which are 330 ml. Don't use that. Use a 2 liter water bottle. The reason I say this is so that you can keep yourself hydrated, but also use that as a dumbbell. So when you're studying, watching television, for your upper body, keep moving your upper body, use that as a dumbbell and keep exercising. And the next point is reduce your sitting time. As I mentioned for the housewives, please reduce your sitting time. Watching television, sitting and watching your laptop. Every 15 minutes you need to stand up. Keep studying, keep watching, but sit down afterwards. So reduce your sitting time. Very, very important. Sitting is the new cancer. So reduce your sitting time. And also when you're in a library or any other study places, it's be preferable to use a standing desks. And in all these IT industries, they've got standing desks these days. Try and see if you can get them. The next point is have a balanced meal. Don't go for restricted meals. It's not good. You're very active, you're running around, you've got a lot to study, you have to walk a lot. So you should have a balanced, good meal. Don't go for restrictive meals. Cutting down going on a restrictive meal, you'll always rebound. So don't do that. Plan your meals properly. Fill up your plate with half vegetables. Quarter plate is carbohydrates, quarter plate is protein. And that's the rule. It's easy to follow. Half vegetables, half plate vegetables, half plate, quarter plate protein, quarter plate carbs. That's it. So when you're going out to party, you know what? You need to eat and go. That's the trick. If you're going to party and it's going to be late, say it starts at 8 p.m., it may go on till 3 a.m. The best thing is to have a proper dinner at your room and then go to party. And then when you go there, obviously you're going to feel full, probably have some fruits or just 1 or 2 snacks and stop there. And then obviously the next point is you're forced to drink. I don't know why people force other people to drink. They get the buzz when they force someone else to drink. You can have a glass or half, but then what you need to do is quickly switch to a diet drink and drag it on. Or have some water and drag it on. Have a glass with you all the time. It's very important to have a glass. But it should be the diet drink or a skinny tonic, something like that, which is low-cal. But it's very important to not consume too much alcohol. If you're going to a restaurant, Google, find out what meal plans, the menu is available on the restaurant list, and make sure you already identify the one you want to eat and stick to that. You don't have to please another person. As I mentioned previously, meal prep for the whole week. So over the weekends, you can sit down and cook for the whole week, put it in different containers and use it, heat it up so that there's no surprises. Last but not the least, please make sure you remember this, learn to say no. Doesn't matter who it is, you may be the closest buddy you've got, you need to learn to say no. If you don't learn to say no and you're going to give up, then you're going to put on weight. You know what? You need to look after yourself. They're not going to come and stick around with you if you develop diabetes or cancer. Obesity causes at least 13 different types of cancer. So the friends are not going to stick with you. If they're real friends, they're not going to stick with you when you've got cancer. I'm not trying to frighten you, but that's reality. These days, most cancers are due to obesity and not due to anything else. Obesity leads to breast cancer, uterus, ovaries, large intestine, liver, you name it. So I've given ideas for the housewives, I've given ideas for the university students. In my subsequent videos, I may do it for men who are very busy, and I also may do it for working women. I may do it for elderly people. I'm going to give lots of ideas. But the most important thing to remember is don't try all these tricks which I've mentioned in one go. Slowly introduce it and also share it with people. Every time you share, this goes into your brain and then you try to remember it. Okay, thank you.